Back in 2022, India completely rewrote its digital playbook with a really sweeping set of new cybersecurity directions. So today, we're going to break down exactly what they are, why they were introduced, and the huge debate they've kicked off.
I want you to remember one number: 6. Right now, this number is a massive deal in Indian cybersecurity. It really represents a radical shift in how the country is tackling digital threats.
6 hours. Yep, that's the new, incredibly tight deadline for pretty much any service provider, data center, or company to report a cybersecurity incident to the government. And this isn't just a suggestion. It's a hard mandate enforced by India's National Cybersecurity Agency, CERT In.
And that brings us to the big question we're digging into here. Are these rules actually building a digital fortress to protect over 1 billion people? Or are they just an overreach that puts an impossible burden on businesses? Let's find out.
Okay, let's get right into it. The absolute centerpiece of these new directions, the thing that has everyone talking, is without a doubt the 6-hour reporting window.
To really get how big of a deal this is, you have to look at what came before. The old rules from 2013 just said you had to report within a reasonable time frame. What does that even mean, right? It was flexible, it gave companies some breathing room to figure things out. Well, the 2022 directions threw all that ambiguity out the window and started a stopwatch. 6 hours. From the moment you notice a breach, that clock is ticking.
And it's not just about the deadline. The list of what you have to report has absolutely exploded. We're talking everything from your standard data breaches to attacks on IoT devices, digital payment systems, cloud servers, even unauthorized access to your company's social media accounts. And there's no minimum threshold either. Pretty much any incident counts.
So, to understand these rules, you really have to understand the agency that's enforcing them. So, who exactly is this watchdog, CERT In?
CERT In, which stands for the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, is the nation's top agency for cybersecurity. Its power comes directly from India's Foundational IT Act of 2000, so this gives it some serious legal teeth to issue directions that are binding on almost any organization with a digital footprint in the country.
And as you can see, CERT In's job is, well, it's massive. They aren't just sitting there waiting for reports to come in. No way. They're actively collecting and analyzing threat data, putting out alerts, coordinating responses during emergencies, and basically acting as the central command post between the government and the private sector when a crisis hits.
So what you end up with is a sort of two-pronged approach to cyber response in India. You've got CERT In, under the IT ministry, handling all the technical stuff, figuring out the attack, containing it, and stopping it from spreading. But then the criminal investigation, actually finding the bad guys and prosecuting them, that's handled by a completely different group, the police cyber cells, which fall under the Ministry of Home Affairs.
But look, these 2022 directions are about so much more than just that 6-hour rule. They brought in a whole suite of new compliance mandates that are fundamentally changing how companies have to handle data.
Okay, so there are 4 really big ones to know about. First, companies have to maintain detailed logs for all their IT systems for 180 days. And, this is a big deal, those logs have to be stored within India. Second, VPN providers, cloud services, and data centers now have to collect and keep detailed customer info for 5 years after a customer closes their account. Third, that same 5-year Know Your Customer or KYC rule also applies to crypto exchanges. And finally, all of a company's system clocks have to be perfectly synchronized with India's national time servers. This might sound small, but it's designed to make piecing together evidence from an attack way easier.
So you have to wonder, why the sudden, dramatic tightening of all these rules? Well, from the government's point of view, it's all about building a national cyber fortress.
And this quote right here, it gets to the very core of the government's strategy. By forcing such rapid reporting, CERT In's goal is to capture the technical fingerprints of an attack, what experts call indicators of compromise, in almost real time. All that data then gets funneled into a massive intelligence database that can be used to spot patterns, predict future attacks, and share defenses across the entire country. And if you look at some of the metrics, this really aggressive posture seems to be working. According to the International Telecommunication Union's Global Cybersecurity Index, India has shot up 37 spots to rank among the top 10 most secure nations in the world.
But, and this is a big but, these rules have sparked a major debate. While everybody agrees with the goal of national security, industry experts and businesses are raising some serious concerns about the actual practical reality of trying to comply with all this.
It really boils down to this tension. The government sees a stronger national defense,
But the industry sees a 6-hour timeline that's just about impossible to meet during the chaos of a breach. They're worried that vague rules will lead to over-reporting every little thing, and that these data retention mandates could actually weaken the very privacy tools, like VPNs, that people rely on to stay safe.
This quote from PsyOps Solution captures that fear perfectly. The mandate for VPN providers to log user data basically undermines their core promise of anonymity, which is a feature that protects journalists, activists, and just ordinary citizens.
On top of all this, businesses are facing what you could call a perfect storm of challenges. There's a severe shortage of skilled cybersecurity talent in India. It's really expensive and complicated to get into compliance, and there's a very real fear that reporting a breach could damage your reputation or lead to some serious penalties, which can include not just fines but even jail time of up to a year for not complying.
So what's the lasting impact of all these directions? Well, for businesses and for regular users in India, the digital landscape has fundamentally changed. And the scope of this is just immense. These rules affect virtually everyone: internet service providers, social media platforms, data centers, government organizations, and corporations of every single size. They also specifically target cloud providers, VPN services, and crypto exchanges. Basically, if you operate digitally in India, you're covered by these rules. Which brings us right back to our central question, maybe framed a little differently. Are these rules creating that necessary cyber fortress, a secure space for India's trillion-dollar digital economy to thrive? Or are they accidentally building a digital panopticon where massive data collection and surveillance become the new norm, all in the name of security?
That debate is going to continue for a long time. But one thing is absolutely clear. For any organization operating in the world's largest democracy, this level of cybersecurity compliance isn't optional anymore. It's the new unignorable reality.